At least someone in this family knows how to be loved. You're too broken for that. My sister Jenna said that at a family dinner in front of everyone. My parents, my aunt, my cousin. The whole table went silent. My aunt laughed nervously and grabbed her wine glass. I sat there, frozen, my fork halfway to my mouth. I should have walked out, but I didn't. Not yet. My name is Sophia. I'm 26, and that dinner was 3 months ago. I'm a graphic designer. I live alone in a small apartment with plants on the windowsill and a coffee habit I can't afford. I've always been the sensitive one in the family, the one who cried at movies, the one who cared too much. A year ago, I went through a breakup that crushed me. My ex told me I was too emotional. My family never let me forget it. Jenna's 23. She's the confident one, the Instagram perfect one. She's never been single longer than a month, never struggled, never doubted herself. She's always been the favorite. I wasn't the girl guys wrote songs about, but I had friends who showed up when it mattered. I had a quiet life I was rebuilding. That wasn't nothing. But after my ex left, I genuinely started to wonder. Maybe I was too much. Maybe I was unlovable, and Jenna knew that. She knew exactly where to twist the knife. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. Let me take you back to that dinner, the one where everything started. Jenna had invited us all to this trendy restaurant downtown. She was glowing. Her boyfriend Tyler was next to her, all clean-shaven confidence and expensive watch. He works in finance, drives a silver Audi, the kind of guy who says let's circle back in casual conversation. Jenna stood up, glass in hand. So, we have an announcement. Everyone leaned in. Tyler and I are engaged. The table erupted. Mom actually squealed. Dad shook Tyler's hand like he'd just closed a business deal. My aunt started crying. I clapped along, smiling. Congratulations, I said quietly. Jenna beamed at me, then her smile shifted. Got sharper. You know, Sophia, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Maybe if you weren't so needy, you'd still have someone too. I blinked. Jenna, I'm serious, she continued. Love isn't for people who fall apart every time something goes wrong. Mom touched her arm. Jenna, don't. But Jenna was on a roll. She's broken, Mom. That's why he left. The word hit me like a slap. My ex had used that exact word, and Jenna knew. My face burned. I mumbled something about the bathroom and stood up. My chair scraped loud against the floor. I walked down the narrow hallway toward the restrooms, my hands shaking. That's when I heard voices. Jenna and my cousin, just around the corner. Honestly, Jenna said, I'm worried she'll ruin my wedding vibe. She's still so fragile. My cousin laughed. She'll probably cry through the whole thing. I didn't go back to the table. I texted an excuse, headache, and left through the side exit. The next morning, I got a text from Jenna. Hey, will you be one of my bridesmaids? Just try not to be weird about it, okay? I stared at my phone for a long time. Part of me wanted to say no, but a bigger part, the part that still wanted my sister to love me, said yes. I thought maybe it was an olive branch. It wasn't. 2 days later, Jenna made a group chat for the bridesmaids. Me, her 2 college friends, and our cousin. The messages came fast. Dress shopping Saturday at 2. I had a work deadline Saturday. A big client presentation. Jenna knew this. I'd mentioned it at the dinner. I can't do Saturday. I typed. Can we do Sunday? The chat went quiet for a minute. Then, we can't wait, sorry. But don't worry, we picked something cute. They sent a photo later that night. The dress was pale yellow, strapless. The kind of cut that would look awful on me. And the price tag? $300. Love it, I lied. The bridal shower was worse. Mom hosted it at her house. The living room was full of pastel balloons and tiny sandwiches. I showed up with a gift, a set of Italian mixing bowls Jenna had on her registry. Expensive ones. She barely looked at them. Oh, thanks. Halfway through, someone suggested a game. Roast the bride, Jenna's college friend announced. Everyone laughed and started sharing funny stories. Then Jenna stood up, grinning. Okay, my turn, she said. At least I won't be the sad single sister crying at her own events anymore. She pointed right at me. A few people laughed. Uncomfortably, Mom smiled and sipped her mimosa, said nothing. I forced a smile. My throat felt tight. I excused myself to get more punch I didn't want. In the kitchen, one of the bridesmaids, Vanessa, someone I barely knew, came up to me. That was harsh, she said quietly. You okay? I'm fine, I said. I wasn't. A week later, Jenna called me. Hey, so I have a huge favor. I should have known. I need someone to design the wedding stuff. You know, invitations, seating charts, signage. You're good at this, and you're my sister. I hesitated. Jenna, I'm pretty swamped with work. Please? It would mean so much. I caved. I thought maybe this was my chance to feel included. Useful. I worked late nights. Sent her 3 invitation drafts. She hated all of them. This font is boring. The colors are off. Can you redo it? She sent revision requests at 11 p.m. At 1 a.m. Never a thank you. Just notes. Critiques. Demands. One night I was at my laptop at midnight, working on the seating chart, and my phone buzzed. A voice note from Jenna to the bridesmaids group chat. She must have sent it to the wrong thread. At least she's useful for something, Jenna's voice said, laughing. I sat there staring at my screen. That's when I started journaling, writing down how I felt, what she said, when she said it. My therapist, Dr. Patel, had been suggesting it for months. I'd been seeing her for 6 months. Learning to set boundaries. Learning that I wasn't the problem. I called my best friend Liam. Why are you still doing this to yourself? He asked. She's my sister. So what? She's cruel. I didn't have an answer. But here's what they didn't know. I'd been quietly building a life I was proud of. Through therapy, I'd started saying no at work, asking for what I deserved. I'd even started seeing someone. His name was Aaron. I met him through a design client. He was kind, thoughtful. He didn't think I was too much. He told me I was enough. I hadn't told my family. I was terrified Jenna would ruin it, mock it, make me doubt it. And I'd been documenting the wedding work. Not because I wanted revenge, just because Dr. Patel said it helped when you felt like you were going crazy. Screenshots, timestamps, messages. I wasn't planning anything. I was just trying to remember my own reality. A week before the wedding, Jenna called me, crying. Tyler and I had a fight. I need you. I dropped everything and drove to her apartment. She vented for 2 hours about the wedding stress, about Tyler being distant, about everything. Then she looked at me and said, You wouldn't understand. You've never had a real relationship. I stared at her. Jenna, that's not fair. She rolled her eyes. Oh, here we go. You're so sensitive. I left. Later that night, she texted, Don't be dramatic. I still need the seating chart by Friday. I didn't answer right away. I called Aaron instead, told him everything. The insults, the free work, the years of feeling small. You don't owe her anything, he said. But if you want to go, I'll be right there with you. Liam had suggested the same thing days earlier. Bring Aaron. Show them you're not broken. So I decided I'd go to the wedding. But I was done shrinking. The wedding day was perfect, sunny. The venue was this old barn wrapped in string lights. Jenna looked beautiful. I'll give her that. I showed up with Aaron. He wore a navy suit, held my hand, smiled at my parents. They looked surprised. Jenna's smile tightened when she saw us during photos. The reception was in full swing when it happened. Jenna had been drinking. She walked over to our table, champagne in hand. "So who's this?" she asked, looking Aaron up and down. "Your pity date?" Aaron stayed calm. "I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you." Jenna laughed. Loud. "Wow, Sophia, you actually found someone willing to deal with you. How long until he figures it out?" I stood up. My hands were shaking, but my voice wasn't. "Jenna, I've spent years letting you talk to me like this. I thought if I just stayed quiet, you'd love me, but you don't. And I'm done pretending that's okay." Her face went red. "It's my wedding day." "I know. I designed half of it. For free. After you told people I wasn't useful. After you said I didn't deserve love." Mom stood up. "Sophia, not here." I turned to her. "You let her say it. You've always let her." I looked back at Jenna. "I don't need you to believe. I'm lovable. I already know I am. These people..." I gestured to Aaron, then pulled out my phone. "My friends, my therapist, him. They show up. You never have." I opened my messages, showed her the thread, the 2 a.m. revision requests, the insults, the "she's useful for something" voice note. I kept these because I thought I was going crazy. Turns out I was just being treated badly. Jenna laughed, but it sounded hollow. "You're being ridiculous." Aaron's voice was quiet but firm. "She's not." A few guests were watching now. The music still played, but our corner of the room had gone still. "I hope your marriage is everything you want," I said. "But I'm not going to be part of your audience anymore." I grabbed my purse. Aaron stood with me. Jenna called after us. "You're really going to ruin my wedding?" I looked back over my shoulder. "I'm really going to choose myself." We left. Aaron and I ended up at a diner 2 miles away. I was shaking. He ordered us coffee and fries. "I'm proud of you," he said. I cried. Not sad tears. Relieved ones. Over the next few days, the texts came. "Mom, you embarrassed us." I didn't reply. "Vanessa, the bridesmaid. That took guts. I'm sorry we didn't speak up." Liam sent me a playlist. The title? "You're a Badass." Jenna didn't reach out. A month later, I got a text from her. I didn't mean it like that. No apology, no acknowledgement, just deflection. I deleted it. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. I finally understood I never needed their approval. I just needed my own. If you've ever had to stand up to family betrayal, hit subscribe and tell me your story. I know how hard it is to walk away from people you've loved your whole life, but sometimes the people who truly care about you aren't the ones you're related to. They're the ones who show up. Where are you watching from? Drop it below. I always check. And if you've ever been told you're too much or too broken, I see you. You're not. You're enough.